Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while since I last uploaded anything, and there's been quite a gap since I was consistent-ish, which I'm really honestly trying to improve on now. But I'll be going over what's been going on with me in another video at another date. It was actually supposed to be my first video, but I just, it's a bit more personal, so it's taking me a bit more time to really create something that I feel comfortable with putting out there. To be honest, there's been a lot going on with me. But anyway, today's video, I'm going to be talking about The Last of Us 2. This is a game that I've been anticipating. The first game is probably one of my favorite games, top 5. So I've been heavily anticipating this game. Really excited for its release, really excited to see it do well and review well and just be another notch on Sony's belt in terms of pedigree of games. So the leaks came out, and me and one of my friends were both huge fans of the series. We've been discussing it since the day that these leaks came out, and people started to get upset. And Troy Baker recently, in a podcast, kind of expressed his opinions and how he feels about the game and Naughty Dog and how it's being misrepresented by these leaks and the following controversies with everything. It's just really painting a bad picture. And because of these leaks, people have been canceling their pre-orders. The game is slated to not sell very well day one. I'm imagining a lot of people are going to wait to see reviews or watch others play it in streams, which I highly recommend. But at the same time, if you are a huge fan, this is where my problem is, because let me state what Troy Baker said. He was saying that a company that's been doing as well as they've been doing for 30 years, doing their thing for 30 years, why would they drop the ball now? What would compel them to stop that level of quality, that level of care now? In terms of the story, making sure it's cohesive and making sure nothing seems forced, or Naughty Dog has always been top tier when it comes to these kind of things. So to be a fan and to listen to these leaks or give in to these leaks that could be very well taken out of context and put in different lights than the game actually gives it, it just doesn't make sense to just for everyone in a blanket way to forsake Naughty Dog. Now, I've only been a fan of Naughty Dog for maybe the last 5 years, because I hadn't really played any of their products. I was an Xbox 360 player, and I didn't play Uncharted until maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, I think Uncharted was the first game. I didn't even play any of the Crash Bandicoots like that, so I had no idea really what Naughty Dog was about. I just heard that their games were great, and then that was that. And so with a PlayStation 4, I was able to play the Crash Bandicoot series. I was able to play the Crash Team Racing game. I was able to play the Uncharted series and The Last of Us. Actually, wow, I take that back. The Last of Us was my first induction into the Naughty Dog realm. And I think, that's what put me onto them, obviously. When Last of Us released on the PlayStation 3, I saw it, my brother had it. I was very impressed with how the game looked. And as soon as the PlayStation 4 came out, that was the game. That was the only game I bought with the system. I didn't need another game. Best launch title ever. And I had a blast with the game. The story is amazing, the voice acting amazing, the animation amazing, the world that was depicted amazing and brutal. I noticed that it's very brutal. You can't hold on to the people you love as much as people want to, because certain characters have a presence to them that seems required, kind of like a Marcus Phoenix or a Dom from Gears of War. Without them, and that's what Gears of War, the newer games, have been doing, is keeping Marcus around. I understand why that works, but I also get the kind of world they're trying to portray to us. Dude, don't hold on to anything. You know, this is real. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, Troy also said that, you know, he didn't defend any of the rumors about how Naughty Dog conducts himself in terms of work environment. That is unacceptable. But if that's how they've operated all these years, I'm not saying it's right. It does need to change. But if they were still creating this quality with that kind of work environment, I mean, let them figure themselves out. And the other, one of the main statements he made was, the fact that you can't expect this game to flop because of some screens and whatever. The game is so intertwined, even with the hate and everything. It's so much on the surface right now. Everybody wants to know what The Last of Us 2 is going to be like. The fans want to know. The haters want to know. The Xbox players want to know. They want to know if this is a game that they can laugh at and point fingers at Sony fans. So there's a lot predicated on how this game does. And I just don't feel it's going to be this monstrosity that people have painted it to be. It looks gameplay-wise, it looks fantastic. I mean, the fact that the enemies move dynamically, they will search in areas, especially if they've heard you. I mean, I don't know to what extent they've gone to, but the fact that a dude looked under the car and you shot him in the face, and then his friend pulls you from, that seems incredibly organic. It feels like we're gonna get given an AI situation that isn't traditional this generation. Even in the best games I've noticed in this generation, AI is still very rigid. Maybe the animations are not as rigid, but it's still rigid in its own way. And I feel with this game, it's going to give us that illusion. It's almost going to give us a peek into what next generation's going to be. I mean, visually, this game already looks like a PS5 game, to be honest. And I imagine they're going to do with this game what they did with the original game and release it on the PS5 with enhanced graphics, which the thought of that is ridiculous. But another thing, I've heard people mention, I was watching the amazing Lucas break down the leaks and his disappointment, and how he's not gonna buy it, and how he's glad the leaks, a lot of people are glad the leaks came out so people can save their money. And I still feel like these people are gonna buy the games. They're gonna realize that they were wrong. The game is still gonna be amazing, and yes, it's gonna pull your heart out of your butt when it comes to the kind of traumas you're gonna face in this game. I mean, there's a dynamic dog system where a person has their dog. They are affected if that dog dies. That dog will pick up on your scent. So I'm wondering, if there's a weather system or some kind of wind system, because your scent moves around in interesting ways given environment and conditions. So I'm interested to see what kind of depths they go into with that. That being said, they haven't shown us much gameplay for that, so I honestly wonder if Ellie will also be able to acquire a dog and maybe train it. If not, that is a mechanic I'd love to see in Last of Us 3, given the story doesn't end with this game, because I could imagine it ending here, but I could also imagine the next game being when Ellie's in her 40s, 50s, that would be kind of cool. But at the end of the day, the gameplay is there. The graphics are clearly there. The story, we don't know yet, but from what I'm piecing together from the trailers, it looks pretty intense, and I think I'm gonna like it. So, I just, the loyalty, that's what really bugs me. Naughty Dog has never led us astray. They've never done anything that was less than good. Why would they risk their brand? Why would they risk their franchise? No. I'm gonna give this game the chance it deserves. I'm going to pay my $60 for this game. I'm going to play it. I'm gonna stream it, So, you know, if you'd like to see if the game is good enough to deserve your money, then I would come and watch my stream. You know, a little self-promotion there. But after that, and during, you know, I'm going to obviously speak my mind as I'm playing the game. I'm the kind of person that will stop while people are shooting at me and look at a leaf and be like, oh my god, I love the design of this leaf. You know, like, or this puddle. Look at that reflection. It's delicious. You know, like, I will stop and red ball everything. Just because I want to know what depths a developer went to keep their experience clean, to prevent glitches, to, you know, like, there's so much that I like to look at when I'm breaking down a game's visuals. But after the fact, after I stream it, I will give my review, and I'm gonna be brutally honest. If the story doesn't check out, if elements of the story don't check out, if, you know, if things don't gel properly, you know, if things feel forced, I'm gonna let you know. But I can already tell you that the graphics and the gameplay seem like a 10 out of 10. And I feel like this game, even without a multiplayer, could get a 10 out of 10. Because, I mean, to say it couldn't would be like to say, oh, BioShock can't have a 10 out of 10 because it doesn't have Halo multiplayer. Like, no, that's not how this works. Now, do I think it's going to remain without a multiplayer? Not a chance. Not a chance. If they aren't already working on one, they've already completed one that will be timed released a couple months after the game comes out. They want you to play the core experience because they know there's a lot of cult following fans of the original game that want to play the multiplayer. Like, that's all they want is the new multiplayer. So they're forcing you to play the game, which, fine, whatever. And then they'll probably release the multiplayer. Because, I mean, multiplayer creates longevity to any game, any experience. And the multiplayer from that game was no little thing. It was a big deal. It was amazing. It was as brutal as the single player. So it needs to happen. There's no realm in which I see this game without that multiplayer. But they're just being quiet about it. And I appreciate that to give us some surprises. Because that's one of my things nowadays with E3, with everything. People are just showing off everything of their game. So by the time the game comes out, there's just nothing left for you to be like, ooh, in awe or in wonder about. So this, to me, would make sense. It would give people like a little present, you know, and hopefully they don't charge us for it. Hopefully it's free, because that would be BS. But I would pay $10 for that multiplayer. Even if I had to. I mean, I'd begrudgingly, and give you money. But I would pay it. Anyway, guys, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like, share, tell a friend, you know, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.